Welcome to Wild Breakaway with Wes Walz. I'm Audra Martin. The Minnesota Wild reminded everybody tonight that you shouldn't leave a hockey game too early because it is not over until it's over. At one point, they were down 3-0 to the Nashville Predators. They come back to win it 6-4 thanks to a huge effort there in the third period.
Yeah, what a win tonight, and just an amazing game for the folks that were in the building here tonight. I didn't think the Minnesota Wild played a great first period. It looked to me, and we talked about it in the pregame show, about how important it was going to be for this Minnesota Wild team to be ready for the pace of the Nashville Predators. They were the Minnesota Wild were on Philadelphia Flyer pace, which is not as fast as the Nashville Predators pace. The Nashville Predators really took the play to the Minnesota Wild the first half of this game, and found themselves with a 3-0 win. But true to form, the Minnesota Wild, they never folded their tents. The crowd got them back into this game, and Jason Zucker obviously scored a huge goal late in this game to get the big win. A guy who's been absolutely on fire, and not just on fire scoring goals, but he's scoring big goals for this club right now, and he scored another big one here tonight.
It's 8 goals in 5 games for Jason Zucker, who's just been on fire. Here's a look at the rest of your final stats. For the Minnesota Wild, that PK continuing to be dominant. 3 for 3 here tonight against the Predators, but the big one right there, 2 for 5 on the power play. That power play that had been struggling over the last couple of weeks. Great to see them cash in not once, but twice on the advantage. A great effort from the Wild to take this one back. Here's what Bruce Boudreau said about his team's effort to come from behind.
You can't be satisfied with playing 30 minutes a game, because it's going to come up and bite you as the season goes along. But I mean, they can't all be Picassos either. I mean, it shows great character to be able to come back and all of a sudden do that, and it makes people believe, or the team, I think, believe that they're capable of doing it. I mean, if we had gone through the motions and the game ended up with an empty netter and it would have been 5-2, you would have, that's the way you think the next game.
So now the Wild hit the road for a Saturday night showdown against the Washington Capitals. And, of course, that means Alex Ovechkin, who's doing very Alex Ovechkin-like things, 13 goals so far this season. But this Caps team is a beatable Washington Capitals team. Not exactly the same dominant force that we've seen over the last couple of years.
No, they're really not. I was looking at some stats earlier this morning when I was doing my homework for the game here tonight, and the Washington Capitals are 30th in the National Hockey League in shots on net, which is unheard of when you've got a guy like Alex Ovechkin. Anytime you're playing that team, they have the potential to put big numbers on the board. So this is going to be a good test, especially for the Minnesota Wild penalty kill that's been on fire here the last 3 weeks or so. We know the Washington Capitals and how explosive their power play is. I think they're around 15th in the National Hockey League, but anytime, Audrey, you've got Alex Ovechkin, he's got 13 goals already this year, you're going to have to shut him down. So good test for the Minnesota Wild, but they've played well. Obviously, they finished their last 4-game road trip where they went out on the road. They ended up winning those last 2 games, so hopefully they can carry that momentum from that road trip on out into Washington.
And if they can do that, they'll make it 5 straight wins. For the Minnesota Wild, would be the best win streak in the Western Conference, as the Wild were able to snap Nashville's 5-game win streak here in front of the home crowd. It was a great game. We appreciate you joining us on Wild Breakaway. For Wes Walz, I'm Audra Martin. Enjoy your night.